When it comes to science fiction royalty, two juggernauts dominate the galaxy: Star Trek and Star Wars. One boldly goes where no man has gone before in its shiny starships. The other wields laser swords and family drama on a galactic scale. Together, they've captured the imagination of millions, inspired countless memes, and fueled enough heated debates to power a Klingon bird of prey for a decade. Whether you're a Trekkie, a Jedi, or some unholy hybrid of both, you know these franchises aren't just entertainment. They're cultural pillars that define what it means to dream beyond the stars. While they share a love of space battles and questionable alien fashion, they diverge in fundamental ways. Star Trek leans into science, logic, and that utopian optimism that makes you feel like you're living in a universe designed by Steve Jobs and Carl Sagan. Star Wars, on the other hand, is pure mythic fantasy filled with chosen ones, mystical energy fields, and more daddy issues than a daytime soap. But one difference keeps fans in endless debates: technology. On screen, Star Trek feels like a future so polished you could eat sushi off the warp core. We get replicators that conjure up any meal you can imagine, goodbye microwave pizza, transporters that make Uber obsolete, and warp drives that turn interstellar travel into a getaway weekend. Meanwhile, Star Wars looks like your uncle's garage, full of broken parts, suspicious stains, and a hyperdrive that works about as reliably as a Tatooine moisture farm. Here's the kicker: the Star Wars galaxy is ancient. The Republic alone is over 25,000 years old before the Empire ever threw its first tantrum. Trek's Federation, barely 200 years old, formed after Earth finally got tired of nuking itself and discovered the Vulcans like jazz in tea. You would think that with a millennia to experiment, Star Wars would have invented tech so advanced it would make Data's positronic brain overheat. Instead, they're still flying ships held together with hope and Wookiee hair. So why is the Star Wars galaxy stuck in a permanent state of medieval space chaos? Enter Subspace, Star Trek's secret weapon. Subspace is the hidden dimension that makes Trek's wildest gadgets possible. Want to beam down to a planet in seconds? Subspace. Craving a martini shaken and molecularly reconstructed? Subspace. Star Wars, they rely on hyperspace, which sounds cool but is basically Subspace's knockoff cousin who never finished community college. And here's where it gets juicy. A fan theory suggests that long before anyone was dueling on Mustafar or getting sand in unfortunate places, an ancient catastrophe destroyed Subspace in the Star Wars galaxy. Maybe it was an experimental superweapon or a tragic Omega molecule incident gone horribly wrong. Either way, poof. Subspace gone. Suddenly, technological advancements hit a wall harder than an AT-AT on ice. Without Subspace, they were stuck building tech the old-fashioned way, leaving them forever rummaging around dusty workshops and relying on the mystical force to make up for their shortcomings. Meanwhile, in Star Trek, Subspace supercharged innovation. Without scarcity, society could focus on diplomacy, exploration, and making sure every ship had a fully stocked holodeck. Replicators meant no one ever had to suffer from hangry conference room meltdowns, and transporters ended awkward small talk in traffic jams forever. Civilization took a leap forward, creating a federation so advanced it makes Coruscant look like a pile of dusty droid parts. But let's be fair, Star Wars did discover the Force, which is arguably cooler than a food replicator unless you're really hungry. The Force brings an extra layer of mysticism, allowing people to lift rocks with their minds and occasionally come back as blue glowy ghosts. It gave them a different kind of power, one that shaped their entire culture for better or worse. While Star Trek chased technological perfection, Star Wars leaned into destiny and spiritual growth and some absolutely epic lightsaber choreography. At the end of the day, this theory that subspace destruction stunted Star Wars tech is pure delicious speculation. It will never be canon, and George Lucas is probably shaking his head somewhere in the galaxy. But that's the fun of it. Endless fan debates, convention arguments that spill into hotel hallways at 3 AM, and YouTube comment sections ablaze with essays longer than the Death Star trench run. So whether you're sipping Earl Grey in a ready room or trying to avoid sand on Tatooine, keep dreaming big. Embrace the arguments, treasure the fan theories, and may your tech and your force powers always be strong. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you, even if it's a bit jealous of your replicator.